Hello, viewers, and welcome to another edition of the Book Review Blog. Well, it has been quite a year of reviewing Stephen King books. If you remember, or you can look back to my first review back in January of 2014, I showed you this little packet of papers. There are 8 of them, and where I typed out every Stephen King book that he has written. And I mentioned that I will go through the list of books that I had not reviewed at the time when January of 2014 had happened, and I will take the year 2014 and read and review the rest of the books. So it started with I believe the first book that I read was Salem's Lot, which was his second book that he's ever written back in 1975, I'd say. And now, right today, I'm going to review the last book that he has written so far, which is Revival. Today is December 30th, 2014, and the book Revival came out on, I believe, November 11th. So, again, it's about a little over a month old. So, I put my hold at the library in, and kind of even way before it came out, maybe like September or maybe even August. And so I would get a high number, and I would be able to review the book while still within 2014, or at least that was my hope. And I did, and I was able to read it, and now I'm here to review it. The book Revival, his main character is a boy named Jamie Morton, and at the beginning of the book, he is 6 years old, and he lives with his parents and quite a number of brothers and sisters. I believe he has 4. Because I believe he has an oldest sister and then 3 brothers. They are a family that has grown up Methodist, and at this time of when Jamie is 6, his family is very religious, where he knows his Bible passages, frontwards, backwards. He could recite them. He knows all the stories, even at a young age. And they basically, their life basically revolves around their church. And when Jamie is 6, his church gets a new minister, or a new reverend. And the reverend's name is Charlie Jacobs. He's quite young, as far as ministers go, maybe in his early 20s, or to mid-20s. And he arrives with his wife, Patsy, and their son, Maury. And Jamie's first introduction to Pastor or Reverend Jacobs, I'm sorry, I keep using that type of name, but is a very friendly, where, they just have a pleasant conversation, and which involves, makes for more pleasant conversations later on, and Jamie thinks that Pastor Charlie, or whoever, is a very good man, and he loves him, he likes his wife, likes his son, all that sort of thing. And then tragedy strikes, where both Patsy and Maury are killed by just a freak accident on the road. No, I don't think, liquor was involved, I don't think anything else was involved, like that. They were just killed. And unfortunately, this causes Pastor Charlie, or Reverend Charlie, to kind of lose his mind, obviously, when you think of that your world has just been taken away from you, or snatched away from you. And very soon after this tragedy happened, the Reverend takes to the pulpit and does a very bad sermon, where basically he's like, God doesn't exist, God's dead, there is no reason to believe in God, and, where he's like dragged off off the stage. I hate to say it that way, but so I thought that was kind of interesting. So anyway, and then Jamie loses sight of him, or loses touch with Charlie Jacobs because, again, Charlie has moved on. And so is Jamie. Jamie has grown up and he, lives his life, and it's explained in the book where, he goes to high school, meets, different people, and Jamie is very musically talented where he starts to join bands, and both in high school and a little bit in college. And so he kind of takes that road, and also being a musician in the time period that Jamie is, which is kind of like the 70s and 80s, he does incur a very heavy drug use and drug abuse, mainly with heroin. And the next time that he and Charlie Jacobs meet, actually, is kind of in a tent revival or not even a tent revival, that happens later, is the first time is that Charlie has kind of taken away his reverend or his biblical stance and has become more of a scientist and more of a healer, to where he basically cures basically cures Jamie of his addiction to heroin. But where he does, and Jamie doesn't have the drug anymore and is not dependent on the drug, it does give him quite an effect, or after effect, where, things happen that I don't want to go into, because, again, I want you to read the book. But then he and Charlie Jacobs do lose touch again. And, again, Jamie, as he's living his life, he runs into people who know of Charlie Jacobs or know of other names that he's gone by. It's more like versions of his own name, because I think his full name is Charles Daniel Jacobs, or Charles Danny Jacobs, because sometimes in the book he's known as Pastor Danny, sometimes he's known as Danny Jacobs, sometimes just Charlie Jacobs. So, but remember, it's all the same man. And so the next time that Jamie meets, I believe then he's known as Pastor Danny, he's become basically like one of those like tent revival preachers, to where he's gone back to religion, but he's one that will like heal people. And I don't want to say there's anything wrong with that. That's not what I believe. But again, it was a little interesting and a little difficult to read, because again, I'm not used to that type of religion. But again, don't want to say anything bad about it. But Jamie is very bothered by it, because along with Pastor Dan fixing him of his heroin addiction, he's noticing that these people that he's curing are getting cured, but like Jamie, they're having after effects, and a lot of these are much worse than the after effects that Jamie had suffered from. So Jamie, along with other people that he's known and have been affected by Pastor Danny, has wanting to stop him, and to make him stop what he's been doing. So that's kind of the plot of the book. I liked it, but I was really surprised by it, because I believe that, this book received big hype, and I don't want to say it was bad, because it wasn't bad, but it definitely wasn't what I expected, which, could be good. So anyway, that's it. I wanted to say that it has been really great reviewing these books, and reading all of Stephen King's books has been kind of on my bucket list, I guess, and something that I had kind of wanted to do more throughout my life, because, I'm not going to die anytime soon, or hopefully not, but it just happened where I had this opportunity to do this over this year, and I just took it. So, if you were a fan of my reviews of him, thank you so much for liking what you've been listening, hearing, and thank you for subscribing. I hope that you continue to like my videos. I will, in the next few days, I will post another video of maybe what I'm looking to do in the year 2015. I'll give you a hint, it won't be something like what I did. It won't be, just focused on one author. And so you'll have that to look forward to. And I bid you all farewell and happy reading and have a blessed new year. And I'll see you in 2015.